Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Time as always for the tropical update at about 9.5 minutes before the hour. This look at climatologically favored areas in July, and you've probably seen this before, but we'll review it again quickly. Bay of Campeche, Gulf, Western Caribbean, a hot spot, as are the warm waters out here, and a pretty good area where storms have developed in the past out in the tropical South Atlantic. One of them, Bertha, just last year. And you folks along the East Coast may remember Bertha brought high winds and heavy rain to many of you from the Carolinas all the way up through New Jersey, and as a low pressure system over New York City and much of New England in July 1996. Well, again, we've had two named storms so far this season on the Atlantic side. One was Ana, and the latest one was Bill, which for about a 12-hour time span was a hurricane, believe it or not. I think beginning at 11 a.m. yesterday, right through about 10 p.m. last night. But Bill now has become extratropical. It's no longer a hurricane. It's lost its tropical characteristics and is racing out to sea on the jet stream winds. Now, left behind is an area of disturbed weather off the coast of the Carolinas, right along the western fringe of an upper-level high-pressure ridge. So, well, we'll watch this area. I believe the Hurricane Center is going to send a reconnaissance plane out, a Hurricane Hunter aircraft, to check this system. And it's really questionable whether it will develop, and if it develops, what the track would be. Most of the computer models take it out to sea, but there's one long-range computer chart that kind of sits it out here, and then eventually, as a low-pressure trough or a dip in the jet stream develops in the east, brings it back towards the coast of the Carolinas with time. So we'll just have to wait and see if there is any development.
Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Okay, it's that time of the hour when we check on the tropics for you. And our list of names in the Atlantic started with Ana, then we had Bill. Did you miss Bill? Not to be confused with Barnacle Bill, but old Bill was a hurricane, and Bill's lost his tropical characteristics as it sped its way into the North Atlantic. Now, next up on the list is Claudette. And as we take a look at our points of origin during the midpoint of July here, seeing it is July the 13th, right in the zone here. Notice past history tells us that we have seen storms originate in this area. Bill formed out here, Ana formed out here, and now new tropical depression, same area. So looks like it's one of those years where we have the old fronts and weak areas of low pressure develop on them, and now we have a strengthening low pressure, and it's being classified as Tropical Depression 3 by the Hurricane Center. And 31.7 north, 73.4 west, that's where we have our estimated center of circulation, 275 miles south-southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Winds about 35, and the movement's nearly stationary. Hurricane hunters will be investigating this afternoon. And as we take a look at our color-enhanced satellite picture here, we see several things. One, well, we have an old front. Two, we have an area of
Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Okay, it's time for our tropical update, and here's a list of our names for the Atlantic season. We've had Ana, and we had Bill, and Bill's gone. You know, yesterday Bill was a hurricane, and now it's gone. It's extratropical. It's sped out over the colder waters of the North Atlantic. And seeing that it is July the 13th, we take a look at the midpoint of July, see where the systems have developed in the past 110, 111 years or so. But you know what? This year, we can add a couple more dots because Anna developed here, Bill developed here, and could it be Claudette? It looks like Claudette's right around the corner, doesn't it? TD3, classified as tropical depression this morning by the Hurricane Center out of Miami. 31.7 north, 73.2 west. That's the 11 a.m. advisory. Center of circulation 280 miles. South-southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Just about stationary. Kind of nuts.
Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about our tropical update. The Hurricane Hunter aircraft has just flown a northwest to southeast passage through the core of the storm, or the tropical depression. And they have found some pretty interesting winds on the eastern side of it. Pressure's estimated at 1,004 millibars. And notice what they have there as of 11 a.m., which is the official advisory time, nearly stationary. So this has been kind of an interesting system here. We look at the infrared satellite picture. This is the, I think this is the 15-minute infrared. And you can see the thunderstorms exploding here on the northeast side. The center would be right here. So the thunderstorms are blowing up right here on the northern and the eastern side of this storm. And the Hurricane Hunter aircraft is in here right now. As I mentioned, they just flew kind of a northwest to southeast pattern. Some of this core right in through here, they found winds over tropical storm force. I'll just tell you that right now. So this could very well be upgraded to a tropical storm. It's just a technicality, I'm sure, at this point, and we'll let you know as soon as they do that. Notice what's happening on the water vapor. Some real interesting stuff. I will point out this is very unclear as to where it's going to go. Bill and Anna were a little bit more predictable given the fact that we saw the winds develop or going to develop that were going to carry these storms away. This is a little bit of a different situation because what's happening here is there are a core of winds passing off to the north and helping to carve out.